Half-ton towable at 6,800 pounds. This is the best-selling J-Flight 28B HBE here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Like I said, half-ton towable, extra tall, loaded with equipment, elite thermal package. It slices, dices, juliennes, bathhouse, bunk entry, fully accessible, slides closed, double the warranty. Basically anything else in this class. She's a dynamite gal, as Fix-It Felix Jr. would have said. That's from Wreck-It Ralph. Now, I think one of the things that made the 28B HBE the single best-selling J-Flight last year was its ability to be fully accessed with the slides closed. I don't know if that was necessarily an intention of our good friends down at Jayco when they did it, but the fact is, they did it, and it works. You can get basically to everything except the TV. You know, you can get up here to your master bedroom. You can get to the bathroom where we came in, the bunks. You can see that we can clearly get in from both doors. So the slide out just makes it so much better. So, you know, what's incredible to me is that this is the #1 seller of the #1 seller. The J-Flight is and has been the best-selling, not just trailer, but the very best-selling RV, period, since 2005 and counting. That's incredible. You know, that's absolutely incredible. That's an unprecedented record of success. And this floor plan has been done to death in the industry. It's all over the place, and it's a great model. Don't get me wrong. I understand why it's popular, but what impresses me is that this version, the J-Flight 28B HBE, has just absolutely smoked everybody else who builds this layout. Even if it's their most successful one, it still doesn't match what Jayco's doing here. What are they doing so different? That's what I want to focus on, is where these guys are just absolutely killing it. One of the things I think is a huge factor of their success is it's taller inside. But what's great is it's taller inside without being taller outside. And if you're not familiar with RV construction right now, you're going, what? We'll hit on exactly why when we get outside. But suffice to say, for now, we've got a taller 6'9" interior instead of 6.5 foot, and the linear interior profile, or like flat interior ceiling, it is vaulted outside, by the way. What matters here, guys, is the wall height. Now, there's campers that have 6.5 foot walls with a vault, but their walls aren't taller. Taller walls allow for taller slide outs, taller bunks. They allow for taller kitchen cabinets with a shelf for double the storage. They allow for a taller shower. This floor plan really maximizes that extra height that you get out of the Jayco build model. And it's really all due to their chassis that we'll see when we get outside. Now, this is also among the most highly equipped campers in its class. This has the same equipment loadout as something like a White Hawk laminated ultralight. Very fancy looking camper. This has the exact same interior guts in it. Exact same. The White Hawk is in terms of equipment, is just the J-Flight Ultralight. This is the mark right here. So, trifold hide-to-bed sleeper sofa, that's an upgrade. And by the way, this is called the saddle decor. We found this is our most popular decors on bunk models. You know, there's different decors, there's different furniture options. Like standard, this would be a bifold sofa. But this, you know, even if you don't need the hide-to-bed for extra sleeping, which in this big bunk model you probably won't, the fact is it just sits so much nicer. Plus, you're gaining the benefit of these little indirect lights down there, which just have a cool look, and they make a perfect little night accent light. Now, something else to keep in mind is this has one of the longest slide outs in its class. You have a full-size 84-inch U-dinette, a true king U-dinette, along with a trifold hide-to-bed sleeper sofa. In a smaller slide, like a 13.5 foot wide slide, you have to choose one or the other. Like often what you'll see is a hide-to-bed and a 2-bench dinette, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But that means that this RV is a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, maybe a little heavier and more expensive, but look what you get for it. Now, a big thing with Jayco is there are people who will argue they are overbuilt. But the compliment or the contrast I have to that is if what you're looking for is the camper you want to own long term, these guys should be on your list. And little stuff like this. They've fully framed out the windows so that those pleated shades, the anchors, actually have something to bite into. So they don't just rip out a Luan wall panel. You know, which is a common thing. Very common thing. Well, you're very unlikely to have that problem here. You're going to screw it up. Now, notice you've got big windows, and they all open for ventilation in here. Killer job there. Third booth. I think this is one of the things that has made them more successful. One, the bigger U-dinette, not the small U-dinette. But the floating, free-floating table here. That table can fold down into a sleeper. It can become a kitchen island if need be. It can become a dining table. You could take it outside like a picnic table, and it's very easy to manipulate and move. You also see how they give you doors and sliding totes for that bench storage access, which is very, very handy. Your bunks over here. Jayco bunks are always rated for 300 pounds per sleeping space. Well, on the upper bunks. The lower bunks have so much construction under them, they don't really put a weight rating on those because they don't need to. But their upper bed here is 300 pounds per space, which means a 600-pound bunk. That's best in class. Now, there's a couple brands that match that, but a lot of times the brands that even match the construction, they won't have the like extra thick bunk mat that you see here on the J-Flight. These are 50 to 100% thicker than almost anything else you find out there. There's very few brands, like a very high-end thing like a Rockwood, a very high-dollar laminated ultralight product might match this. But no, like in this class, these guys are outstanding in that regard. Jayco also builds their own bunk ladders in-house. It's much thicker, it's heavier, it's more expensive, but it is way heavy-duty in comparison. Like, this is an adult-rated ladder, not just a kid ladder. Then the little detail stuff here, like you notice your upper window, it does open for ventilation. That's a detail thing some brands will miss, or, you know, or they'll just not do for cost reasons. The socket over here with that handy little cargo net, what I like is that it doesn't necessarily look fancy, but man, is that ultra effective. The kiddos can keep their little devices or phones or whatever in there, out of the way. You don't have to worry about a phone cord getting tangled up on their feet and ripping out of the wall or anything. Now, storage in bunkhouses is often a challenge, and that is what another thing I think the BHBE here does very well at Haylett RV is right next to the bathroom, right next to the kitchen, in a very centralized location. We just have this 6'9" unadulterated storage space right here. I mean, whoa, I almost dropped my camera, dummy. Anyway, so big 6'9" tall pantry right here, and if you need to, you could pop one of those shelves out and kind of convert it around however you want. And so you could make that partially use as extra closet space. Although, bam! You've got plenty of space in here. Bam! Now, right here, we got drawers on the floor. And that is a regular thing in Jayco RVs. They will give you more drawers with heavier duty hardware in more places. You know, full beveled edge plywood box construction here with the larger grab handles. All that stuff, every one of those things I just said is a couple extra cents per drawer. But it adds up so quickly. When you build 17,000 of these in 1 year, or however many J-Flight builds, it adds up quickly. Porcelain bowl stool with a nice little foot flush for the kiddos. And one of the things that has made this a success, I keep saying that, but remember, this is the number one of number ones, guys. There's a lot of little things that contribute to the success. And that is the big ol' epic monster shower. This thing is huge. Now, if you need to get in there and hose down a kid, you can. You need to put a little stool in there to sit to bathe, you can. If you're just a big person like me, you can. You can with the Jayco RV. Anyway, so that little blue LED nightlight, that is something that the Eagle designer first implemented at Jayco. And that's what's neat. This J-Flight has some of the same features as a very fancy pants Eagle fifth wheel. This little blue LED light being one of those. Not very impressive during the day, but at night, it'll cause this whole room to glow nicely. And especially with that white Cascade shower right there, this whole room will glow and you'll be able to see. You do have a deadbolt privacy door for that direct entry door, but that will cut down on so much dirt and foot traffic in here. Little details like the bigger sink, the corner-mounted medicine cabinet, so it actually faces you. Little stuff like that matters. It just, all those little things add up. So we've talked about the hide-a-bed and all that. The TV can spin between the living room and the bunkhouse, but what I like is what you see here, how they fully finished it off. You see how it's nicely mirrored. Little details like that, they add up. So if you just want the camper to look bigger, you flip it around to the mirror side, you can, but what's nice is it really makes your bedroom look bigger, especially during the day. That mirror plus those cross breeze windows in the bedroom will really help it open up in there. Now, our stereo has recently been updated in the J-Flights. They have a USB and an HDMI plug right on the face of this. What that means are things like Roku sticks, Chromecast, Amazon Fire Sticks, etc. You can plug those in and charge them right on the face of this thing, so that this is very like streaming entertainment friendly, assuming you find a campground with decent internet or you supply some yourself somehow. Now, when flat screens first took over RV production, the entertainment centers got too thin to do anything. Jay-Flight realized that. They made little accommodations to overcome that, so that's that's almost like a decent pantry in and of itself. It's very close to the kitchen, easy to access, but it's also not bad for like, hats, gloves, boots, shoes, right next to this little entry area boot box and shoe garage right when you walk in the door. And that's a boot box, not a beat box. That's a different thing. Anyway, look at this. This is the stuff that I key into, guys. Doing this all the time. And this is going to seem like the smallest, dumbest thing in the world, and you can't even believe I'm wasting time talking about it. But this is a purpose-designed, purpose-placed piece of wood right here. This isn't just a piece of scrap that they just screwed to the wall. It was, this thing belongs here. This thing's purpose is to go on this trailer in this position. Premeditation like that, it means a lot to me. It means that these folks are really thinking this through. And this isn't built with scrap. This isn't built with leftover parts from the fifth wheel production that they swept off the floor. This is the first, not the second. All of our cabinets, by the way, they are all lumber core with pocket screws. In English, if you don't know what that means, it means it's not particle board and beaver puke that's stapled together. It's gonna last. You may have noticed our stainless appliance bundle here in the kitchen area. This has a standard 8 cubic foot fridge freezer. Jay-Flights have a bigger refrigerator in them standard. I'm tripping over that sliding tote that I left open because, there's a safety tip for you. Safety tip number 37 from Josh the RV Nerd. Put the totes away when you're done with them so you don't trip on them. Anyway, 33% larger fridge, standard. And you've got that cool little stainless appliance complement going on. Now, from the counter to the floor, this Jayco's got some drawers. Again, drawers to the floor right here. And look at the little, again, LED accent light under the countertop right here. Just jazzy little stuff. And a big space for a nice wastebasket right under the sink. But you notice, they also have a little utility shelf back there. Now, we have some plumbing in our way right here. But on the other side of the countertop, over here, we've got a handy little access door to be able to get to everything. Notice something? Waterproof countertops. Sealed edge thermal foil countertops, and that is why they can have this nice recessed sink right here with the fitted cover and aluminum drying rack, which is the exact same stuff, again, you find in like an Eagle fifth wheel. The Swan Lake high-rise faucet with the pull-out sprayer and real tile backsplash, not that cheesy wallpaper that we saw for so many years. People it's got a brick print, and they'd reach out and touch and be like, oh, it's just a crappy wallpaper. Nope, not anymore. Oh, yeah, by the way, grandkids, little kids, they can't mess with your important buttons like your water heater when you're boondocking or screw with your slide out or anything like that. Now, we do have sliding pocket privacy door up here, not a curtain, and Jay-Flights, not the SLX base series, but the full-blown Jay-Flight has the full 80-inch residential size queen bed. The bed is on easy lift struts. You've got your side stands with outlets, both household, USB, and a little 12-volt cigarette lighter plug. Full overhead cabinet, not just a shelf. Again, this is the brand that goes all the way. But remember, this is something I should have talked about in the living room, but I had the TV spun around. Now, the TV is going to be included with it. We put the biggest TVs in these that we can in a flight. We put everything we can on a flight most of the time. But right here, you see that the TV doesn't just spin, it's also on a swing arm, and that is a critical item, I think, contributing to the success of this model. Because if the TV was just flat mounted, like so many of them are, and you were sitting on that sofa, you'd never get a good look at it. You would have a neck cramp in 5 seconds, maybe 6, 7 if you eat bananas and have potassium. Anyway, the point is, that TV can actually swing out and comfortably face the slide out, and that is another one of those little but crucial parts of the success of the Jay-Flight 28 BHBE here at Haylett RV. Very clean, modern looks and lines on these Jay-Flights as well. For like I said, it's been the best seller for many years, but something that they didn't always do well is they just didn't always look great. And they a couple years ago, they changed to this current exterior package, and I think they corrected that. Now, something I like to point out on these is they have wider and taller baggage doors, and it's the same baggage door on both sides of the camper. They don't use a big door here and a small door on the other side to save money. That is a common tactic in this industry, because when people shop, you tend to buy the camp side of the camper And you tend to ignore, for the most part, the slide out side of the camper. Now, J-Flight pays attention to both sides. Last time, I want to say it's a 30-inch baggage door. I think if I hard measured it, it was like 29.5 inches. The all tail and marker lights are all LED. To give you an idea, guys, the standard for exterior lighting in luxury fifth wheels, outside of Jayco, because they do it there too, is not LED tail and marker lights. It might be LED tails, but not markers as well. It makes a difference. Now, these ride on a custom engineered chassis, and that is why this is taller inside without being taller outside. I mentioned that previously. And you can see it right here. Because if you notice, they don't tack on the A-frame to the bottom of the chassis. It's actually integrated into. And you see how they even wrap the diamond plate around to help stones prevent dings and surface corrosion. That allows them to have a lower floor, so they have a taller interior but not taller exterior. Very, very cool thing. But they have to, it's not a joke, they have to custom engineer, and they have that chassis custom built to their wants, needs, and specs. So, you know, that's different from what's normally out there. Again, we put the thermal package on these, and the J-Flight thermal package is a thing of beauty. Now, what I'm not saying, I am not saying this is a 0-degree tested, proven, rated camper. However, it does have the same insulation package as a 0-degree rated, tested, proven camper. So what's the difference? The difference is proven testing data. They don't actually cold chamber J-Flights. So I will not make information up. I will not smoke people into this stuff. There's so much misinformation about this 4 seasons thing out there right now. It makes me sick. Anyway, but you have an enclosed, forced air heated underbelly with extra layers of batten insulation, radiant foil insulation. Standard all Jayco slides have double-sided radiant foil insulation in the flooring, so you don't bleed all your AC out of the floor or anything like that. They also double the insulation in the roof and wrap that all the way around the nose. So, I mean, it makes a big, big difference. You see, all of our windows are crazy tinted. We've got like a 80% UV tint going on. That knocks down a ton of that solar radiation, keeps the RV much, much cooler. You have to press your nose against the window to really see inside. And again, every window opens for ventilation, even that little bitty bunkhouse port window up top. Water heater is gas and electric. Fast recharge, auto ignition. What that means in English is you can run your gas and electric simultaneously for nearly 18 gallons per hour recovery. We are backup observation camera ready. We have those on the shelf here at Haylett RV. We found we can install them for the exact same price as a manufacturer. Back wall, outside shower, and black tank flush. Those are just handy little utility things to hose the kids off, and then they can slip into that rear bathroom. Now you see the ladder on the back. That is something we put on all these. It used to be part of the Elite package, then it slipped out of there, but we still make sure it's on because of Jayco's Magnum Truss roof system. Jayco has a roof that is, some people argue, is overbuilt because there's other walkable roofs out there, but this is rated for 50% more weight. The roof is crazy overbuilt. So what are they doing different? Well, they have thicker trusses with bigger nail plates to hold the trusses together. They also use not just 5/8 tongue groove plywood floor decking, but also a tongue and groove plywood roof decking. So they're using a superior material up top with better load equalization, basically. That's what they do. So that back door goes straight to the bathroom. We saw it from the inside. Remember, that has a deadbolt. But the detail stuff, the fact that we have triple steps back here, they didn't cut down to a double, because remember, this is not the corner cut product. Now you also have an RVQ quick connect on that rear bumper if you want to throw a grill outside here. Very easy to do. Jayco's right on Goodyear tires. In this category, there's no one else. This is the best tire in this class and category, these Goodyear Endurance radials. They have the highest speed and sidewall integrity ratings, and Jayco does a little nitro fill to help with tire pressure equalization. These are all set for solar, little portable solar prep. We have a wider 30-inch entry door. To, you know, getting inside and out. Now, all the little things like that custom engineered chassis, the better materials like the plywood, remember how I said they use first materials, not seconds, the LED lights? All that little stuff adds up, guys, and that is how these folks are able to have twice the warranty of basically anybody else in this class. Not a structural, not just like a chassis coverage, everything. So, you know, your that easy tilt power awning we're looking at, 2 years covered. Everybody else, 1 year. The air conditioner, 2 years covered. Everybody else, 1 year. That's my point. They do more on this to keep this thing held together longer term, and that's another of those simple but critical reasons. I mean, how many of those simple but critical reasons have we covered in this video? 10, 12, 15, 20? No single one aspect of anything I've talked about in this video is the reason to go J-Flight versus anything else. It's the reason they're the #1 overall, though, because it's the combination of all those little things that add up to give you the best experience. And that's probably why these have literally the best trade and resale values of anything else out here. So give us a call, 800-256-5196 for Haylett RV, Coldwater, Michigan. We only do everything hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer, package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.